morning. It is another travel day. Jack seems to be ready to go. We are currently in Lake Hills, Texas, Medina Lakes RV campground, and we are headed to Deming, New Mexico. We're going to harvest host tonight, so we're getting everything packed up around here. Got to get the bikes and stabilizers. Donna's inside getting her stuff done on the inside. Jack's barking at the door. He's ready to go, so I'll take you along for the ride. Enjoy. That's how we carry our bicycles. Now, I added the lights in on the back so that we got a little more visibility on the back of the campers we're going down the road, because I like to have lots of lights on the back. But I also go ahead and put the bungee straps around it to keep the cover from flapping around as much. I don't think we're supposed to have any bad weather on this ride, or any rain for that matter. I think the wind's supposed to blow. That's about the biggest challenge that we got coming ahead of us. So.
They're really great because they fold up. You can tuck them out of the way when you don't need them.
Before I leave them, to make sure that I top off my water and get it where we can boondock for a night at least. Yesterday afternoon, I didn't carry the camera along, but yesterday afternoon I went through, preloaded our trip into the GPS, checked our route, looked over it with Google Earth, made sure all the tires were good on the camper and on the truck, took it down the road and topped off with fuel. So I got all that kind of stuff done yesterday, so just makes traveling on this morning a whole lot easier. So one of the things that Donna and I do is we both walk around our camper and we touch every door, and we kind of insist that both of us do this. Don't take it personally on there, but it's just a double check, triple check to make sure we haven't left any doors or anything open. We use the gas stop. When we turn the tanks off, I don't bleed any of the pressure off, and right now that tank's reading on the line between the yellow and the green. So if I get to where I'm going and that has changed or has gone down in pressure, it means that I've got a leak somewhere in the system. So if you don't have a gas stop, it's a really good idea to carry one along with you. You can hear Donna in the background. She cleans and does all of her floors and vacuuming. Also, Jack and I get kicked out of the house, and she runs her vacuum cleaner and does all the cleaning up underneath the slides, all that type of thing, just before we let all the slides in, and then I will walk through and actually check through the house behind her. Last thing we do after we check everything, make sure all the lights and everything are out, make sure all of our one items are off, everything is in the off position, all the slides are closed, everything's done. So now we're ready to hitch it up. One of the cool things about having the Lippard system on our Montana is that whenever we unhooked, if I don't mess with it too much, when we come back I can push the left and right button together right here, and it will take us back to the level that we were at when we unhitched the truck and did it the first time. So let's see what happens. And there we go. We should be able to back the truck up under it and hitch right up. Usually I find that this is just a touch high, but we'll see how this one goes. Next step in the process is we always look up in here and make sure that it doesn't have a high pin, and that the jaws are locked firmly around the kingpin there. We want to make sure that's closed firmly, pinned in place. My breakaway, I always put my breakaway in place. Trailer pin. And this Anderson pin is for our DC to DC charger that we have on board. So got that extra wire that some of you may or may not have that goes along with that. So now we will get the jacks up and get this party started. It says auto retract, so we can hit auto retract and let everything down and we should be good. As you can see, Donna's walking around touching all the doors just like I did a while ago. Nothing personal. Next thing I'll do is I'm going to walk around again. I'm going to look at all the jacks, make sure all the slides are in, make sure everything packed up and got where it's supposed to be. Bicycles are good. Jacks up, jacks up. Awnings in. Looks like we're in good shape. We will adjust the air pressures and the hitch and the airbag system on the truck, and then we'll be ready to go. See you at the dump station. Our last stop on the way out of here is get all of our tanks emptied out because we are going to be boondocking. Make sure that we're good and empty and we got plenty of room for showers or whatever we need to do.
We have found that Harvest Host is a unique way to really experience the area that we are visiting. The Old 76 is the only beer garden in Fort Stockton. They are also the only live event venue in town that serves great craft beer and wines you can't get anywhere else. Unfortunately, they were closed for our visit. Their location is perfect for travelers as they are right next door to Rooney Park and the Gray Mule Saloon. If you would like to join Harvest Host, be sure and use our link in the description and save 15%.
Night at the Harvest Host. It wasn't bad. A little noisy about 4:30 this morning.
That bird, did you hear the bird?
So it wasn't traffic, there was a bird that decided.
It's like, oh man.
We happened up on Venturesome Couple. They happened to back in beside us, so we went and had wine and pizza at a little local place. What was that place called?
The Gray Mule
The Gray Mule. In Fort Stockton, there is a lot of history around here, and I was surprised at the history. The building out in front of us was here in the late 1800s, as was the Gray Mule. It was an actual saloon in the 1860s, 1870s. So kind of a neat place to come. If we ever had a chance to come back this way, I'd come back and just to beat around and see some of the old west towns. So
yeah.
See what was around
some
here.
Old buildings.
It's time for us to get on the road and continue on our journeys. 5.5 hours today, a little longer than we normally travel, so it is what it is. We tried to split it in half. We're headed to Deming, New Mexico. So look out, Deming, here we come. Most of the time when we're harvest hosting, I try not to unhook unless we just have to. A lot of times I'll just drop the jacks down and make it as level as possible for the night without unhooking. So last night when we got here, the angle was way too bad, so what we did was just had to unhook, but we just really just pull forward just enough so that I could let the front end up a good bit, and then this morning we'll just drop it right straight back down. There's no realigning or anything necessary. Little tip. So after a rough ride, as we're getting somewhere, one of the things we try to do is to, and I'll try and see if I can show you, before we let the slides out, climb up in and double check back behind here to make sure that, you know, with America's roads and Texas roads like they have been, make sure that everything's kind of where it's supposed to be. We don't want to damage the slide or anything on the way out. So one of the things that we make sure to do before you start letting your slides out. So there's a couple of things that we use for our stabilization. One is our X-chocks right here. We put these on each side in between the tires and to help stabilize the back and forth motion on the RV. We have noticed a big difference in using these with the RV. And there's one other thing that I'll take you around and show you on the back, our X-brace that we got from Morad. So the other thing that we use is our Morad X-brace. Got a basic ratchet trap that goes right here, fits into the trailer hitch on your, and this really makes a difference for us, especially when the washer machine is running. Adds a lot of stabilization to the RV. Part of our setup plan. If you don't have one, you should consider getting you one. These make a big difference. Another thing that we really have noticed a difference is our water softener. This is the on-the-go water softener. We use quick connects to disconnect our water hoses back and forth to it. This really helps to take care of the water spots and things like that you get on your shower doors and your sinks and things. We've noticed a big difference in it. Really easy to use, called on-the-go water softener. So that gets us all set up here at Wolf RV Park in Deming, New Mexico. If you're ever out this way, it's kind of a nice little park, real small, very level sites, good water, all that kind of thing. We have been pleasantly surprised, Don and I have, about the scenery in New Mexico so far. The landscape has been just absolutely beautiful. It's very barren, but some of the mountains and things are quite amazing. It's our first trip west. We're looking forward to carrying y'all along as we continue on our trips. Next stop will be Benson, Arizona. That's where we're headed to next. So we'll hang out here for a little while, see if we can't find some interesting things to get into, and then we'll move on to Arizona for a little while. If you like what we're doing, hey, be sure and hit that subscribe button. We look forward to catching up with you, and we'll see you next week.